The while command is used to execute a block of script statements repeatedly as long as a test is true. The general form is to say while some test in parentheses, a script block to execute. The while command will do the test. As long as it's true, it will run the commands in the block and go back and test again. When the test is false, the while loop ends and the script continues on with whatever else is in it. In our example, we use the readhost command with a prompt to ask the user to give us a number. We're going to do a countdown from their number, which we're going to store in starting number, and we're going to force to be an integer. We're going to count down from that number to 1. We want to keep our starting number because we'd like to do a fun little trick with it. So we're going to take that starting number they gave us and put it in a variable to use for our loop. As long as we have anything left in there, as long as we have a positive number to work with, in other words, we are greater than 0, we're going to execute this block. Each time we execute this block, we're going to do something. Then we're going to subtract 1 from the current count. We're going to sleep for 1 second so that there's a small delay that the user can see what's going on. And we're going to go back and test again. So each time we go through this loop, we're going to decrease the count by 1 and wait 1 second in addition to doing the work we're going to do. Once we have subtracted enough for the value to get to 0, we'll fall off the end and we'll print out something that lets the user know we're done. In terms of the work we're going to do, we're simply going to print out our countdown. So we're going to be printing the value of the count. But we'd like to have a little fun with that. What we would like to do is have some dots in front of the number. Here's an example when it was run, showing how this works. So the first thing that we print out, we just want the number that they started with. The next time we want a dot in front of it. The time after that, we want another dot, and then another, and so on. When we print our finish, we don't want any dots, we want spaces. So the way to print a number of spaces based on the number is to use multiplication with a string. We'll put a space in a string. We will multiply that by the number that we started with. And we'll add on to the resulting sequence of spaces. Done. So if we gave in this example a 6, there will be 6 spaces, followed by done. Since we want the number of dots to change as we go, we could set up an extra counter for it, but we really don't need one. We can simply display 1 dot for each number in the difference between our starting point and our current position. So if we are at 6 and that's where we started, there's 0 difference, so print 0 dots. If we started at 6 and we're going through the second time, it's now 5 that we're comparing to. The difference between the 6 and the 5 is 1. Subtracting the 2 numbers will give us a 1. When we multiply that by our dot, we'll get that many dots, and we can just add on the number that we're currently at. So each time we go through this loop, we'll be printing 1 extra dot compared to the line before. producing a fun little chart.